Hello everyone and welcome back to the last Cloudia video. My name is DK and today we're going to be going over Vergil. I was not lucky enough to get the unit just yet. I'm still playing it by ear on the daily singles just to see how things go. But my good friend Navitz was generous to let me use his account. I went ahead and built Vergil and leveled them up and got him to E5 and whatnot. We're going to kind of just go over his kit. I know a lot of people are asking questions on how to build this new unit. And you know, it's very simple. There are a couple things that I found that he does struggle with a little bit. But you know, in all reality, he's a really good unit. He really is pretty damn good. He does have a couple of drawbacks. One thing I have noticed is that he is a little SC hungry, so you will have to get him up to 90. 80 is 80 is good actually. 80 is actually a good place to start, but 90 is that really good spot. Of course, if you pull dupes for him, that's great. There's also one dupe inside the shop, so make sure you guys get that. That would put him at 92 SC, so that you can go ahead and stack some more skills on him. As you can see, he is a soldier type. STR, defense, MND, super solid. As you see, it kind of resembles Bayland a little bit on this side. I know there's a lot of controversy out here which one is better. You know, at the end of the day, you kind of go with who you like the most. Of course, if you don't have Bayland, Vergil would be a great replacement. Vergil is going to be more of a burst DPS. He's doesn't really have that longevity. He does, but he doesn't. He also doesn't have very much survivability in his kit. He also doesn't have any slayers as well. So that is why I went ahead and said he's a little SC hungry. So you will have to spend on him to make him, efficient. With that said, we can kind of go over his abilities real quick. His S1 is very nice, a rapid slash. It's a frontal medium area slashing breakthrough combo attack. Very nice. It works really well. You kind of have to run across the screen just to kind of get it done, and then the skill will activate. We do have Judgment Cut, medium area, long range combo attack. This is one of my favorite ones. He kind of disappears into like a void, and it does this it's based out of the lore of the DMC universe. So I do really like this one. There has been instances where I have flown across the map almost like an instantly gap closer, but I know there's sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know, maybe it's a glitch, but I have seen some pretty odd stuff happen with this Judgment Cut. The next thing is going to be Rising Star. This one is instantly closes the gap for wide area combo attack. This one is absolutely my favorite. I love the animation. It hits hard. It's just really good overall. A lot of it does resemble Bayland's kit as far as his skills, but you know, it's Vergil, obviously. So overall thoughts on the skills are very good. Moving on to the traits, a lot of this was already discussed when the trailer did drop. We have when only one weapon is equipped and non-attribute damage is plus 30% and damage cap plus 3k. After special, give SDT buff, which would be his special buff, and remove Doppelhander. So guys, make sure that you are using, if you're using Doppelhanger, do not use that special as it will cancel it out. The SDT buff, while it's active, when only one weapon is equipped, non-attribute damage is plus 30%, and you also get a 10k cap. So it's very nice damage cap there. Just make sure. One downfall to this is that the S4, which is a special skill, does take quite some time to build up. It's not the fastest, guys, so I definitely wouldn't. This is probably not going to happen too often. There are ways around it, and we'll go ahead and discuss that a little later. The next thing we have is concentration. So we boost non-attribute damage cap per hit on enemy at max 30 hits, max damage plus 50%, and then cap plus 10,000. So guys, all you have to do is hit that 30 hits. You go at that max 50% and then an extra damage cap, which is very nice. It does reset each wave, so you don't lose it. It's not once per quest, so that's really good. Of course, whenever you're attacked, you do cut the hits by 4. So make sure you try to stay out of the hit boxes there so you don't get those 4 hits. But you know, it is super solid. Overall, I have a lot. I'm having a lot of fun. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going out there with, you know, who's better, Bayland. Of course, guys, Bayland is really good. His kit is just super solid. So it's kind of hard to pick between the two. So don't, take it easy on my boy Bayland out there. So as you can see, we do have Enhance 5. We do have Awaken 4, and then we have a fully unlocked board. Now, guys, I wanted to go over this really quick. This is 100% necessary to fill this out. Normally, in some cases, I don't fill it out completely, but for him, he needs everything you can throw at him. Honestly, you want to unlock all the E5 board, which is going to be these 3 here, these, and then this right here. As you can see, it does lock non-attribute attack raise 3, which will give you a 2k cap. This also unlocks the Sin Devil trigger and puts it at max. So this is the big damage cap that you get whenever you use a special move, along with the 30% and the damage cap plus 3k. Make sure that this is something you guys you knock out, because you will lose damage catch if this is not completed. Another thing is his ward is very, very solid. It is a non-attribute damage cap plus 100. We will take that. Honestly, I'd probably go for the ward before you start awakening, but as you can see, my buddy Naf already went ahead and awakened first. This is just for the showcase purposes. There's a lot of souls in the event, so you guys can stack up on souls, eventually unlock everything for this unit. Going over the build now, guys, there's a lot of ways to build this unit. Right now, and here's the thing I want you guys to think about for a second. You guys want to build this character on what you have. Of course, there are going to be a lot of things that you are missing that probably that I have and you don't. I will try my absolute best to kind of point out different ways to make things happen while we're going through this. I'm going to try to be as I can't really find the word for that, but I'm gonna try and help you guys out. I really am here. I don't want to sound like a huge like whale or something where like if you don't have this skill, you're screwed, right? Well, there's ways around everything, and we're gonna try and make this work. I try to keep this build as close as I can to the general pool, and kind of trying to stay away from like the LR and the collab. Very specific arcs that you were only obtained in certain time frames of playing the game. A lot of people are starting new with Devil May Cry, so I'm gonna try my best. I really am. So the first thing we can start here, we do have Doppelhander. This is part of his skill. I mean, yeah, his board. We do have use all your MP and give the unit a Doppelhander buff. Which this is gonna do is this is gonna double your hits for 30 seconds. Only usable once per quest. So with this in mind, you definitely do not want to use this at all during waves. You want to use it at the boss level, at the boss wave. So guys, please do not use this while you're fighting in waves. Make sure this is used only in boss. And another thing to point out is that he is a burst unit for the boss wave. He really doesn't. You want to make sure that you maximize your hits, you maximize your damage during boss wave only, because this is the type of unit Vergil is. Very quick, very fast burst unit. You definitely want to get the most you can out of the 30 seconds that it's available. As you can see here, I'm ignoring anything that has Honey Elixir or WAP. Stands for Winry's Apple Pie. The reason why I'm staying away from this is because during this build video, I don't want you to feel like you're left out in any way if you can't find a certain skill. Now, these were only available in the FMA and the Secret of Mana collabs, along with the Redux of Trials of Mana. So again, we're going to go ahead and stay away from that. Going over the kit, as you can see, I've maxed out the full 90 SC. And we're going to kind of go over why I think he's a little SC hungry. As you can see, I don't have any attack ups. Now, of course, if you do have a remaining SC and you've completed the build that I've showed today, and there's stuff that you're missing, go ahead and use these attack ups. Just because I'm not using them doesn't mean you shouldn't. They're great to have. STR plus 12, STR plus 8. That's going to benefit him in the long run. As you can see, I only am using the ones that are on his board because they are still very good. We have an STR of 15% along with an STR HP plus 10%. So very good. I'm getting 25% from just these two right here on his normal kit. So we have SCR, defense, and HP, another plus 10%. So we're getting that 35% just from the free kit. I went ahead and attached crit 2 and crit 3 because you can do several builds with him. One is a pursuit build. One could be an all-out damage dealer. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. But this one specifically will be a pursuit build because I feel like that's where you're going to get the most damage out of. Since of Doppelhander, he does have quite a bit of hits already. And then adding the additional hits from the crits and the arc that we're going to provide today, it's going to help you in the long run for maximum damage. The next thing we have here is Advanced Aim Vitals, part of his free kit. This will give you more critical power from the critical ups. So the more crits you hit, it will transition into this power plus 50%, which you'll see light up gold. If you guys are new to the game, that is what a crit is. You can identify it by by being gold. Next thing we do is have Proud Force. Now, guys, if you did see before, going back over here, he does have a high MND, which is your magic defense. Now, the higher this is, the more health you will get back from the crits. So it all works together. So you have your crit up, Then you have your crit damage right here for your crit power, and then you have your proud force. So this will recover your HP and keep you alive. Again, he has a little problem with defense and a little bit of, and this will help him in the survivability area. So part of his free kit, you won't have to mess with this. All you have to do is unlock it on the board. Next thing we do have is illusion for a chance to evade physical attacks. Now this is just a demonstration because I didn't have enough time to teach all the slayers, and I didn't really feel it was necessary to learn every single slayer for this video. Now guys, please reserve 8 to 9 SC for a slayer. This will help Vergil in the long run. Whenever you're fighting a certain boss, make sure you find out what type, whether it be creature, stone, dragon, spirit, etc. Find out the type that you're using and go ahead and use the slayer accordingly. Make sure you say between 9 to 8 because the most expensive one is 9, and it'd be dragon. So and I believe God Slayer too is 9. So guys, make sure again, save that at 9 to 8 SC. So it'll be at 82. Okay. The next thing you want to do is special boost. This one is on a I believe R arc or SR arc. I can't remember. But this is gonna help you boost your Slayer damage, or anti-type is what it's called now. This will give you a boost of 50%. So make sure that you have these two on your kit, of course, according to whatever fight you're doing. Because like I said before, it matters because it's a boss wave. The next thing we do have is critical. Now this is part of his free kit. This will help you do your procs for Proud Force and your pursuits and all that stuff. Auto haste is free. Arador is free as well, as long as you maintain your max HP, which will help you, which will benefit. Let me see. So the more Proud Force you get, you'll get health. Make sure you stay at the max HP. This will give you another additional crit rate plus 10%. Really, really good. Free kit. He does come with non-attribute attack raise 2, 3, and crit raise. Again, these are huge saves in his kit. Humongous. This is really good. We definitely want to see stuff like this. The next thing we have is Pose of Glory. When you defeat an enemy, you slightly recover SCT. So the more you slay, the more you receive in SCT for your skills. So he does have a small recovery and can kind of keep going with, with the stuff, with the damage. We do have Pirate Feast. Now, Pirate Feast is really, really good for him. I know a lot of people prefer Honey Elixir, but if you really think about it, he is built for burst damage. He's only allowed to use that Doppelhander once. At the battle start, when it's boss wave, is when it's really going to matter. This is pretty much all you're going to have time for, is to use all these skills before your timer's up. I know there is an instance, probably another like maybe 10 to 15 seconds where you can still use skills. By the time you activate Honey Elixir and try to get your MP back, it's majority of the time you would just run out of time and it would be a waste. You'd just be back to square one with skills. So really, I went ahead and just stuck with this just because of how SC hungry he is. And of course, you're not going to be playing with just Vergil. You're going to be playing with others in multiplayer, team comp. It's not just going to be him. So you most likely with Vergil, you'll slay the boss pretty quickly. You won't even get to a secondary set of skills. So Pirate Feast is going to work really great. Of course, it's on a general arc that is obtainable throughout, anytime throughout the game. There's nothing rare about this one. So make sure you try and grab this if you don't already. But if you do, make sure you use it. It's very important. Now, this is going to be a little controversial. So we have Surprise Attack, Backstab, and Reverse Cross. Now, as you can see, 90 SC, I'm really low. Majority of the time I would put on Backstab and Surprise Attack, but in this case I'm just going to go with Reverse Cross because since this is a crit build, I will get a crit plus 5 and critical damage plus 50%. So ideally, that's what's going to benefit me the most is the crit. So I went ahead and went with that. Whenever I do get a remaining SC, if you want to, like, we do have the Prism in the shop, so Backstab would be really good. You can go ahead and throw the Backstab on there to give you an extra 30% from behind enemies. So guys, you can use that as you want. Another one is Sky High here. This one is also on a general arc. So damage to enemies in midair, 20%. If you do have this, definitely try it out, see if it works out for you. If not, just go with the Backstabs or the Surprise Attacks. They're both great. We do have Blessed Speed, so just make them a little quicker. It's part of his free kit, so you won't have to do anything here but unlock it. Now for Swordman's Mindset, this one, when sword and clothes are equipped, sword strength STR is 50%, and then closed defense and M&D plus 30%. This is great for survivability. He doesn't have a lot of it. A lot of things missing in this kit are slayers, defensive capabilities, stuff like that. So I went ahead and threw on Swordman Mindset. I believe this one is also on one of the newer general arcs, so it is obtainable on the daily. So good luck to you guys if you don't already have it. I'm pulling it. This will benefit him greatly. Again, the biggest here is the SCR, close, and defense and MD plus 30%. Good survivability. Double impact, regular attacks deal extra damage. This one's not a big deal. It's part of his free kit. Favorite sword, you get an extra 30% to physical and 10,000 cap. Instant strike. This is so good that it came on his kit. When equipped with a single weapon physical attack, crits have a chance for damage at 150% and a damage cap plus 15k. Of course, it is a chance, so it is not guaranteed. Doppelhander, when one weapon is equipped, is one sword, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. Physical attack plus 20%, crit rate plus 10, and physical damage cap plus 5k. Now, there is two versions of this character that you can use. It's either a sword or a claw. Now, I know there's a larger damage cap on the claw, but guys, you really cannot. I feel like the sword is going to be the better option, because you also come with Doppelhander and then Doppelhander boost. So these two will kind of counteract this a little bit. You lose a little bit of damage, but it's not a lot. If you did pull his paid sword, I know you're probably using that right now. Just go ahead and stick with the sword. I mean, of course, if you want to use a claw, go ahead. For this build, I am going to be using a sword. I just don't feel comfortable using the claw. I just don't feel like it fits his MO. So that's just me. I probably will never use a claw on this guy. So if you want to use a claw, all you have to do is flip this build around, go claw high boost, and you're done. It's very easy to switch this. And that's what's so good about this game, is that you can just switch it. The next thing we do have is Doppelhander, which is going to give us, and we already talked about that, I'm sorry, Doppelhander boost. Now this is going to be a little booster when weapon is a sword, physical attack, and special damage plus 10%, and then you also get a 3k cap. Super solid. Two-handed claw, again, if you wanted to use a claw instead of the Doppelhander, go ahead and just turn that off. Well, not turn it off, but just go ahead and equip the claw. Turn off the Doppelhander boost if you have it, and you'll be good to go. And you can run other things like claw high boost. But since I'm using the sword, we can go ahead and say that I'm using sword boost and sword high boost, both on general arcs. So you can go ahead and obtain those pretty easily. We have a 10% increase in physical attack, and then a 30% increase. So guys, as you can see, this build is all based on crits and percentage damage. He has a pretty decent STR due to all this stuff that is going to be on his top of his kit right here. All this is helping him out with that STR. So, and then there's also the mindset, the swordsman mindset. It's giving him STR. So we're building around percentage boost here. So it's going to be really, really good. The next thing we have free is his closed mega boost, armor HP up, and then right here I went ahead, since his S3 is the most powerful one in the kit, I went ahead and gave this an SC recovery minus 10. Now it's not a big deal because of Pirate's Feast, it will refill automatically, and then you get a damage plus 20% for that third skill. Really helpful for SC, super solid. Now guys, Purple Orb. Now this is obtainable right now during the collab, so I recommend you go for it. It is going to be on the mobile office arc for the Redux. So where Nero, Dante, and V are on the banner, this is going to be on that one. They did give us a unit selector ticket, so where you can pull either an arc or a character. This is very important for Vergil because for some crazy reason they decided to give him only 2 S3s. This will boost him up to 3, which will maximize your damage overall and per second. So good. Make sure you guys grab it before this collab ends. You will regret it if you don't. Quick trigger, Decoy. Now Decoy, of course, it's going to be part of his free kit. When you reach 0, automatically revive with a little bit of HP. Just make sure you get your attacks in so you can recover that back with Proud Force. Quick trigger at the recover SCT by 1 at the start of battle. This one's really good. So as soon as you start a battle, you will get 1 stock on. It really is only going to matter on wave 1 because Pirate's Feast will not activate until wave 2. So on wave 1, you can go ahead and start, slaying enemies with that quick trigger, so you can build up SC with that Pose of Glory, which is going to be right over here. So you use that quick trigger, you kill an enemy. Once you defeat an enemy, you refill the stock, and then you continue slaying until the round's over. And then, of course, round 2, your Pirate's Feast will kick in, and you will have full stock again. So it's really, really good. Next, we have Indomitable Spirit. Now, this is a good revive mechanic. Very, very good. I'm glad it came. I'm glad he at least got one. When taking lethal damage, survive and recover HP. We also have when surviving lethal damage, you get a skill damage plus 30% buff. Super, super good. Now, since he is a boss killer, and I say that because everything is where he's going to shine is going to be at the last wave on boss. I went ahead and threw on giant killing. Again, it is on a general arc. So for this one, we get skill and special damage to bosses plus 20%. Very, very solid. And then we also have Giant Killing 2. Now this is part of his free kit, but it does give us a 20% plus a 2k cap, more damage cap. Now, since he does have great procs on his Proud Force, we can run Berserker. So Berserker will do 30% more physical damage, but it causes continual HP decrease. As long as you're attacking, you should be 100% okay. This will not affect you, but that 30% is absolutely great for capping. The next thing we have is Focus Will. Duration of SCR, Defense, INT, and M&D debuffs taken are -50, excluding some debuffs, of course. Cool. So that's just nice to have, so you don't have to worry about getting debuffed. The rest here are going to be part of his kit. It's going to be free, and it's all really good stuff. So when unit defeats an enemy, physical attack plus 20%. Very, very good. Wait, is that win? Until unit defeats an enemy. Great. So again, really good for boss wave. So on bosses, when battle start, you will get another 20% to physical. We also get damage to non-boss enemies. So this is great for killing waves. 20% damage cap plus 6k. Very, very good. You won't take a lot of damage from little minions in the wave, so don't worry about that. Yamato is now this is where you're going to choose whether you want to do a sword or claw. Again, I'm going to use a claw for this build. We have, since I'm using a sword, I do get an SCR buff of 25%, and this will continue until I die. And then we get an SDT buff when active. Only one weapon equipped is a sword. You get a physical damage plus 30% and damage cap plus 10k. Now, Beowulf. So if you're going to be using a claw, it's the same concept, but you get defense -20 on the enemy. And then when the buff is active, when you use your special, you do get a skill damage plus 50% and a cap of 20k. Now, it is a difference between 10k, and like I was saying earlier, if you were to run sword, you really would lose out on minimal damage cap. It's not going to hurt you if you wanted to use the sword or the paid Yamato in the shop. So guys, again, this build, as you can see here, there's not a lot that is going to be on arcs that are not obtainable at the moment, or that were previous collabs. So this is a lot of this stuff is going to be on general. So I hope this helps you out in trying to build him and not worrying about, oh, I don't have this, or I missed this collab and they're never coming back. I don't think there's a lot on here except for a purple orb, which is available right now. Everything else is obtainable. Yes, I'm almost positive that everything is obtainable through general arcs here. And that is a good thing about him. Now, real quick, before I get into this, as you can see here, I'm not running Sharp Eyes. Now, the reason why I'm not running Sharp Eyes is because when you use Doppelhander, now Sharp Eyes, let me explain Sharp Eyes real quick. Sharp Eyes is a very good skill, but it requires MP. We can kind of talk about this real quick. So when using an attack skill, it uses 3% of max MP for damage. Since Vergil is a boss killer, when you use your Doppelhander, it's going to suck up all that MP. We are not using Honey Elixir or Goddess Kiss because ideally you want to try and burst, within the 30 seconds that you have. So I went ahead and separated the, I did something else by just doing percentage buffs like Giant Killing and, this, what is it called? Sword Boost, Sword High Boost. I went ahead and went that route and ignored the Sharp Eyes. I feel like in the long run, maintaining you don't want any kind of hits by your MP usage. So that's why I'm staying away from Sharp Eyes. Another good thing that you could possibly use is we do have Power Counter. The only problem with that, it was only on the Secret of Mana collab, so a lot of people don't have it. That's why I'm not using it. But if you do have it, think about it for a second, as it is special gauge is full, SCR plus 30%. If you're running someone a team comp with a level 10 Gwar, activating it at rounds at the first wave, and it carries through, you're getting an SCR of 30% throughout each wave until boss. Of course, when you activate your boss, when you activate your Doppelhander, do damage, and then activate your special, you'll get buffs in between. So, ideally playing different kinds of strats is going to be highly beneficial. Another thing that you could think about, if you're not going to be running other stuff like this, we do have Combo Master 1 and 2. Combo Master is only available on a UR arc, so it's a little bit harder to get. And then Combo Master 2 is going to be available on the in-game content for Vaz. You get the UR arc there, and that's going to be on there. So those are two a little bit harder to obtain. That's why I'm not using them. I feel like this build should suffice for a lot of newer players out there, and of course returning players. So guys, I really do hope that this build has helped you guys out. Moving on to the weapons now, I am using a pretty top tier weapon. We do have Pure Blade Miramasa 305, and then physical damage plus 20%. This is really good. You can obtain it in a story, and then you can God Forge it if you really want to make this happen. Pretty much any sword that you have, go ahead and use it. Don't worry about it being top tier in any way. Just do what you can, and you'll make it work. As you can see here for the clothes, I'm using, I believe this is out of one of the arcs. What is it? It's Lanceville's arc. I can't remember the name, but this is just part of an AER. So if you're looking for armors, check your AERs for armors. There's some great ones in story. I believe there's some, not armors, but clothing. There's some in events. Just like, again, use whatever you have. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm using. There's just so many clothing, so many armors out there, so many swords. Use what you got. Just make sure it's the right stuff by saying, like, check right here. It says clothing. And then, of course, you can see clearly that's a sword. If something looks a little different, go ahead and just click on it, and it'll verify that's a sword right there. For here, I'm kind of just messing around. I do have the Dun helmet. This is just going to give me a physical attack at the start of battle, 15% buff to the unit. Again, I feel like this is going to be a 40 second buff of 15%. So this is going to help me on boss wave if I need it. We also have myth or relief. What this is going to be an AER on a general arc. Very good on the HP, very decent on this the attack or STR. When a sword is equipped, which it is, we do have a boost movement speed and a skill damage of plus 10. So guys, this is just a general build on accessories. Work with what you got, really. You know, make sure that whenever you're doing the accessories, just something that's going to help you with your physical damage or skill damage. Just, you know, play around with it. So very, very good. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and transition to the world map. We're going to do some testing on Vergil so I can kind of show you what I have. We're going to go ahead and do Finding Theria. Now, this is a great map to do some kind of testing. We're going to be running Tinky here. She does have Honey Elixir. For the sake of testing, we're going to go ahead and just activate Honey Elixir on him so they can get his stocks because it's only one wave. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and test out arcs as well. So just to touch base, there are 2 different arcs. We're going to stick to general. I won't move outside of this. We'll do a couple. Of course, I can't look at every single arc with you guys, but we'll go ahead and pick a couple that I think are good for recommendations. The first one, since this is a crit/pursuit build, and I think it's going to be the best one for you at the moment, this again is going to be a general arc. This one is going to help you in this. So we have arc trait, physical attack, critical damage is plus 40%. We also have physical attack criticals deal an extra ice attack. So as long as you're hitting those crits, you will get an extra ice attack along with a fire resistance plus 20 and an ice resistance plus 20. So very, very solid arc. It's general, pretty old, but still holds up. As you can see here, stats are looking very, very good at a 416 STR. Defense is okay. INT is it's not bad on INT. And then M&D, which, you know, is going to help you proc that Proud Force. If you're looking to extend it, because this is not the stock stats right here. If you're looking to extend it, make sure you check out your arc extension area where you can extend stats by adding SSR prayer orbs. This is very good to get this maxed out because you will be using this quite a bit throughout builds, throughout your LC career. The next thing we can talk about is Sword of Corpses. Now, this one is also a very good general arc. This one has a, when sword is equipped, crit rate plus 3, crit damage plus 30. You also have a nice little curse res, which I believe he is. I don't know if he's nil. I'll have to check that. I keep forgetting. Whenever defeating an enemy, though, you have an SCR plus 4% at max 10 times, and it only resets upon incapacitation. So it could carry you through the entire waves, including boss round, because as long as you don't die, you'll be okay at 40% extra STR. Very, very solid. It's still one of my favorite arcs that, you know, I use. This one is a little off, but I wanted to talk about it. So we have Stardust Live. We did talk about Purple Orb. We did talk about his problems with his stock. He only has 2. With Purple Orb, he gets 3. With Stardust Live, he gets 4 S3s and I believe 5 S2s. Very, very nice. We have duration of stat buff from unit's active skill is plus 35%. And that active skill does reflect Doppelhander. So what that is going to increase it from 30 seconds to 40. I think it was 41 or 40 seconds when I did the timer. So, you know, if you wanted a longer Doppelhander, you don't have any of the arcs, this is going to be highly beneficial too. As you can see, stats here don't really benefit him at all. But another big breadwinner here is you get another maximum stock to all skills. Also, illness resistant plus 2. So very, very, very solid if you're looking just to melt, you know, enemies with an extra stock. 4 S3s for Vergil at a 10-second increase on Doppelhander. That sounds like a lot of fun. just wanted to throw that out there. Again, guys, don't be afraid to go through all the arcs, see what works best for you, see what you have available in your kit, and then kind of build from there. It's going to teach you in the long run how to play the game. A lot of reading, but it's all worth it at the end. So for this video and the sake of my build, we're going to go ahead and stick with Icy Guardian. We're going to go ahead and start the match. Now, this is just going to be a quick demonstration before I end the video. We're already hitting a pretty long time. I didn't want to go too long in this video, as I know everybody's got shit to do and Vergils to build. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to activate Weary's Apple Pie. This is going to give me full stock. And as you can see here, we'll test out his speed real quick. They're going to hit me. Look at his speed. It's so solid. I don't have any additional speed on. As you can see, health is draining from Berserker, but we will get that all back. What we want to do here is you want to, since this is, that you can see here, we do have the final boss wave. As you can see, it says boss up there. You want to activate your Doppelhander. Once it's in play, you are at a 30-second mark to slay your enemies. Go ahead and target the one you want. S3's first. As it dashes across the map, as you can see, we're hitting all types of numbers there. Let's go ahead and finish them off. So this is, as you can see, you're seeing the gold's cap, but you're seeing the little whites in the background. Those are the pursuits, as they are kind of half of what I'm hitting now. So don't feel like you're not capping by seeing those numbers. You are. It's just those are the extra hits on there. He hits so fast and so hard that you can't even really see the number. So, you know, something, he's very, very solid. Waves are bosses that I could see him really doing well on, like the new Bahamut fight. You know, just really solid. I don't see him performing well in arena. He's very squishy. He requires a lot of work to, you know, get his damages up. So I feel like there's a lot of ways to build him, but just to do efficient damage, I would go with the crit build as of right now. So Icy Guardian would be my primary attack. I know a lot of people are using the Archfiend Eldravana arc from Roland's banner during the anniversary. You could use that, that's no problem, but of course you're going to get more damage from the additional hits than you are with an extra 6k per hit. So guys, just something to think about. As far as that goes, you know, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today as far as the build. We can dive deeper into other things like the paid weapon, but it's not really necessary. If you do manage to pull the weapon, you do manage to chase after the paid weapon, put it on him. You're gonna have fun. Overall, my thoughts on the character, very, very solid. A couple minor things here and there that I don't really like the whole claw issue. You know, he really is a burst unit only, but a very, very, probably one of the best. For those 30 seconds, the dude is a monster. So if you haven't pulled him yet and you're still going for him, definitely go for it. He's going to be a lot of fun. If you don't have Balin and this is your first non-attribute unit, you're going to have a blast. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching and checking me out today. If you like today's content, please like and subscribe, and I will check you guys on the next one. Peace.